Hey, how you doing? JT at hoagiesgarage.com here. I wanted to run you through a new product review that you kind of have to see to believe. The camera's sitting on, you can kind of see there on the Impala for our Impala Project. If you haven't seen anything from this project yet, check it out, hoagiesgarage.com. There's a heading at the top that says Impala Project. Kind of been blogging and sort of writing down things as I go. The Impala, the point of it is to have a, I'll say, cheap family vehicle that actually still you can have some fun with. And if you look at the book value on these things, with the current mileage, like I said, this Impala has 180K on it. It's book value like right around 5-6 grand, and I mean maybe on a good day you get some more 7-8 grand because this one's in literally such nice condition as you've seen in all my other videos and what I've described. So sinking a bunch of money into a car like this isn't for everyone. With that being said, I got a spoiler sent to me from supersportstudios.com. They make various body components for these cars, Monte Carlos, and they've kind of always been on my radar because this car, like I've told you before, has been in the family for a while. My dad's owned it since new, so I've always looked at things like, oh, you should get this, you should put this on, you should modify this. And the spoiler on the back has always been something I wanted to do or see him do or do something like that myself. So I contacted the guys at supersportstudios.com. They have kind of what they call their more aggressive raised spoiler, and they sent it to me, and the next thing from there was had to get it installed. And that's where it got interesting. I will say when I took it to the body shop, they weren't exactly thrilled because they were kind of treating it like a Fast and Furious Mustang, Fox body bolt-on body kit, which is fine, but you have to kind of convince a body shop to do a good job. So what I'm going to do first here is I'm going to sort of take the camera off tripod here, show you what it looks like, and go from there. So this is the spoiler from supersportstudios.com. Kind of showing you an angle here that sort of shows the lines of the spoiler. Like I said, when I went to the body shop, they weren't exactly excited about doing this job because it requires a lot of fitting and sanding and that sort of thing. What they ended up having to do was basically Bondo or body filler the entire thing to smooth it out. And then from there they could sand it down and get it to fit right. The next thing they used was a dip primer to prime it. And then they told me they spray primed it. Now I'm just giving you what they told me here. And then from there, they painted it. After the initial painting, they said there were still some pinholes, so they basically had to somewhat start over and redo the entire process again. And my words to them was, I kind of said, look, I'm, understanding that this is going to take some effort. I understand it's going to, need fitted and test fit and make sure it's all right. But I want it to look factory. And if you can tell, the paint on the trunk deck is 180,000 miles old. It just is. And I know I don't have the best lighting here, but you can see that they did a really, really nice job. I'm not going to tell you what shop did it unless you really, really want to know and you want to come to Ohio. I didn't get anything off or anything like that, so I'm not really going to plug them. But overall, they did a great job. The one thing you have to know about this spoiler is it doesn't come with the factory mounting points. Just the guys at Supersport Studios said just use some double-sided tape, which from what the body shop told me, they said that'll hold. That's totally fine. And I said, well, that kind of worries me because I don't want this thing flying off on the highway, and then I look back and I don't know where it flew off, and I went to all this trouble. So I had them fab up some mounts here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit pause, open the trunk, and show you where it mounted in the factory holes inside. And if you've never seen where your spoiler mounts on the Impala in the back, in the holes, this will kind of be a little FYI for you. So this angle from with the trunk up kind of gives you an idea of the extremeness, I guess you'd say, of the or the more aggressiveness of this spoiler. It really does change the look of the back end, and I think in a good way. It does stick out more, it does tip up in the back more, but that's kind of the look I wanted. I didn't want something that was ricer or ugly. I wanted something that would look like it could have been factory if they went a little bit more extreme in 1996. So as I was telling you, the mounting points, I have a light here too, I don't know if this will help. Right up inside there, you can kind of tell they did fab up a bolt and nut system to hold it on, along with the double-sided tape. So that kind of puts my mind at ease as far as it not flying off. And I'm assuming it won't, but I guess it's when you do anything like this, you never know. So I'm going to go ahead and close this and sort of give you my final thoughts on the entire process. So as I was saying, the process wasn't exactly simple, and I kind of need to apologize to the guys at Super Sports Studios. This did take a while. They sent this to me like 2-3 months ago. Just a lot of stuff's been going on for me to get this done and finally get it scheduled. You know, it took 2 weeks to schedule, and then it took a week to get done. So a lot of good intentions to get this done quickly. It just took a while. The one thing I will tell you, pricing on this look, it's not exactly a cheap expense. The spoiler itself, $249 from supersportstudios.com. That's not too bad. And I think if you take it to any body shop, the prices are going to vary all over. I went to a local body shop that is on the high end by, you know, most people's standards when you talk to them about body work and things like that, but they do guarantee it. They do, you know, do good work, but I'm just going to say it, to get that fitted, you know, mounted, painted, primed, painted again, everything like that, $535. Yeah, I know. And I told some people about this, they're like, are you nuts? That's a lot of money to spend on a spoiler. Not even the spoiler itself, just the work to get it done. I think you could get it done cheaper. You could mount it yourself technically if you really didn't care too much, but I had really kind of strict standards because I didn't want to ruin the look of the back of the car. I didn't want it to look like something that was just slapped on, you know, real quick in the garage. I didn't want it to be a flat black look that, you know, just didn't match the lines of the car, the colors, that sort of thing. So a good paint match, a good fitting, I'm confident it's not going to fly off now with the two attachment methods, the bolts and the tape. And I also have here a nice little trophy. And what's interesting, if you can make this out, the difference between the two spoilers is just night and day. I mean, this one's just basically is just flat, and it had a little bit of a lip on the end of it, but nothing crazy. You can see there, and I'll kind of walk up here. I don't know if this will show good on the camera. That's your factory mounts right there. There's a bolt with a nut on the inside, 2 bolts, and then the double-sided tape there. So I guess it's probably something you want to keep and not get rid of, just in case, because I mean these things, these Impala spoilers, I mean these were, as far as I know, Impala specific. It is a plastic spoiler, where the one I put on is fiberglass. If you're worried about weight, you're driving the wrong car. I don't know, you know, what the differences are. So that's the entire spoiler project from supersportstudios.com. If it's, you know, you're following the tradition of this project, it is to kind of update things, make them a little more modern, sort of, you know, make it look a little different. 1996 Impala was kind of, you know, subdued, not exactly a, you know, a showstopper, not exactly a looker, it's, you know, if you want to call it that. What this did to the back end, I think it gave it a little more aggressiveness, a little more attitude, and it's definitely an improvement in my opinion. It's also something you don't see these online, sort of the pictures that they post on their website. Occasionally people have done it, but you know, I think this is going to be a good source if you're you know, looking to do this and you want to see what we did. I'm going to kind of film a bunch of angles here of it so you can get a full thing of it. After I'm done here, I'll just sort of roll them after my commentary here. So thanks for watching. Supersportstudios.com, where you can get the spoiler. Hoagiesgarage.com, you can follow us on the Impala Project. The engine's coming soon. Literally going to start getting this going in a couple weeks here. So finally ready. I was waiting for the spoiler to get done. Now it's ready to kind of get torn apart. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this. And if you have any questions on what they did, what I did on the spoiler, or anything like that, post a comment. Give us a thumbs up if you like this. If you don't, that's cool too. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.